While lying on the operating table, Joel hung up on me for the 10th time. His secretary sent me a message. Joel is busy. Do not disturb. When the anesthesia wore off, I told him I wanted to break up. He frowned impatiently and snapped, "It's just an appendectomy, not a life or death surgery. What's the big deal about waiting a little? Why be so dramatic?" I closed my eyes for a moment. "Joel, I don't want to wait anymore. From the summer when I was 18 to the winter when I turned 28, I'd been waiting. Waiting for him to finish that game. Waiting for him to graduate and propose. Waiting for him to earn enough to marry me. 10 years. How ridiculous." Chapter 1. When I woke up, the hospital room smelled only of disinfectant. On the bedside table sat a thermos that Victor had brought. Inside was pigeon soup. The broth was clear and the meat was soft and tender. It was clear he had put effort into it. Victor and I weren't close. He was just the client I'd met a few times. He didn't talk much, and his manner was cold. During this project meeting, I suddenly collapsed from appendicitis, and fortunately, he was the one who took me to the hospital. "Victor, thank you," I said. I scooped a spoonful of the soup, and warmth slid down my throat. My phone vibrated. It was Joel. "How did the surgery go?" "I just finished work. I'll come keep you company now." His voice carried its usual calm. Staring at the ceiling, I replied softly, "There's no need." "All right, stop making a fuss," he said, his tone faintly helpless. "I know you're upset, but you understand how important that client is, don't you? I can't just walk away from a deal worth tens of millions just to sit outside the operating room waiting for you, can I? Appendicitis isn't a big deal anyway." As the anesthesia wore off, pain began to spread from the wound. I clenched my fingers and took a deep breath. "Joel, let's break up." There was silence on the other end for a few seconds, then a short mocking laugh. "Breaking up again? Just because I didn't come to the hospital to be with you? Is that really necessary?" The pain at the incision flared sharply. I closed my eyes, exhausted. "Yes," I said quietly. "Laura, did I go fool around with another woman? Did I gamble or sleep around? I was with a client, to make money for our future so we can live better lives. It's just an appendectomy. You're not dying. Do you have to be so dramatic?" His impatience turned into accusation, his voice rising. "I haven't even eaten after finishing work, and my first thought was to call you. You're not a child anymore. Can't you try to understand me? Be a little more sensible?" The word pierced my heart like a needle. I'd been sensible for 10 years. From 18 to 28, I'd learned to leave a light on when he came home late, to prepare hangover soup for his social dinners, to smile graciously when he laughed with female clients, to swallow every ounce of hurt and only say, "I'm fine." But what did all my understanding bring me? It brought a man who brushed off my pain, who believed every emotion I had was just me throwing a tantrum. "Joel, I'm not throwing a tantrum. I mean it," he snapped, irritated. "Laura, don't try to make me coax you with this kind of drama. It won't work." A hollow laugh escaped me. "I'm not trying to make you coax me. I just, truly don't want you anymore." I hung up the phone. Sunlight streamed through the window, scattering into fine glimmers across the floor. The world, it turned out, was so bright when it didn't have to revolve around him. Chapter 2. Joel and I started dating in high school. He was my desk mate, the dazzling school heartthrob. At that time, his pursuit of me was passionate and unrestrained. The homeroom teacher repeatedly forbade early relationships. When our parents were called in, Joel met the eyes of both families with burning determination. "I really like Laura. It won't affect her studies. I'll marry her in the future." The adults couldn't help but laugh at his naive declaration. At the coming-of-age ceremony, he jumped onto the stage and shouted into the microphone, "Laura, let me copy your college entrance exam application form." Back then, I was the girl everyone envied. We both got into the same university, just as we had hoped. But as his world grew bigger, I became the one waiting quietly in the gaps of his busy life. "Laura, wait for me to finish this game. Laura, wait until the basketball match ends, then I'll come to you." And I always waited, silently, patiently. Whenever we quarreled, he would hug me and promise, "Be good. When we graduate, we'll get married." And the proposal I dreamed of, "When I make enough money, I'll marry you, just wait a little longer. When the company stabilizes, we'll get married, just wait a little longer. This project is crucial, wait until I finish this busy period." That wait lasted 10 years. But in life, how many 10 years can one afford to waste? Chapter 3. Victor came early again. He stood at the door of the hospital room with breakfast in hand. His black coat was damp with mist, and his hair was slightly wet as if he had been caught in the rain. "The porridge downstairs, it's hot." He placed the thermos on the table. His gaze swept across the tabletop and stopped on the ring. Joel had given it to me. I had taken it off yesterday. He didn't ask anything. Instead, he pulled something small from his pocket and handed it to me. It was a little hand warmer, pink with a bunny printed on it, completely at odds with his cold, stoic personality. "Your hands are cold," he said. The tips of his ears were red. My hands and feet were always cold in autumn and winter. Joel always said, "You just don't dress warmly enough. Put on more clothes," as if my discomfort was nothing more than needless whining. I held the little hand warmer, a wave of warmth spreading through me, followed by a tinge of embarrassment. "Victor, you've gone through too much trouble. No need to feel bad. I just hope you get well soon and return to work." His tone was all business, leaving no room for argument. I hurried to assure him, "Don't worry, the project schedule won't be delayed." "Good." He tied up the trash bag neatly. "Then rest well." Victor hadn't been gone long when my best friend arrived. She saw the breakfast on the table and teased me with a smile. "Well, Joel's being thoughtful for once. You can tell that porridge took effort." My eyelids trembled and my voice tightened. "Misty, Joel and I broke up." I told her everything that had happened yesterday. Her reaction was explosive. "What's wrong with him? You had surgery and he didn't even come. Why didn't you tell me? If I'd known, I'd have flown back to be with you." She had been away on a business trip yesterday. The surgery had been urgent, and Joel kept rejecting my calls. I couldn't handle anesthesia well, and it was Victor who ran back and forth, confirming the full anesthesia with the doctor again and signing the consent form for me. My friend cursed Joel furiously. Just then, a nurse came in to change my dressing and commented, "Your boyfriend really treasures you. He stayed here all night after your surgery, constantly asking us how you were." I froze for a moment. So he hadn't just come in the morning. One was the boyfriend I had loved for 10 years. The other was a near stranger I had only met a few times. And yet, a wave of indescribable sourness filled my chest. Chapter 4. The surgery went smoothly and I was discharged on the third day. The day I left the hospital, Joel finally showed up. He was dressed in a tailored suit, holding a large bouquet of red roses that drew the attention of everyone passing by. "Laura, come home with me." He stopped me and softened his tone. "I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have been absent during your surgery. You can yell at me, hit me if you want." Then he pulled a small box out of his pocket. "Look, I bought you the necklace you like." I looked at him and suddenly found it laughable. In these 7 years, every time he made me angry, it was always the same. First, he'd act high and mighty. Then when he saw I had truly gone cold, he'd lower himself and coax me with a few gentle words. And I always softened. But this time, I was truly exhausted. "Joel, we've already broken up." I tried to move past him, but he grabbed my wrist. "All right," I said, "I was wrong. You've had your moment to be angry. The company just signed a big contract. Come on, let's celebrate at your favorite Japanese restaurant." My best friend rolled her eyes. "Joel, do you even know Laura just had surgery? She can't eat raw or cold food. Don't you understand that?" He froze for a moment, then frowned. "Oh right. I didn't think of that. We'll go somewhere else." "Didn't think of it." "Forgot," Misty sneered. "You can remember who can't eat garlic or scallions. You can remember which year of Laffit a certain boss prefers. But you can't remember when your girlfriend of 10 years developed stomach issues? Joel, it's not that you don't know how to care. It's that you just don't care about her. Yes. It wasn't that he didn't know how to be considerate. He was just too lazy to be considerate with me. Joel, I said, we're done. I struggled to pull away, but he gripped me harder. Why are you making a scene? I already apologized. What else do you want? I tried again to free myself, but his hand held fast. Pain shot through my abdomen where the incision was. Joel, let go of me, damn it. Misty, furious, yanked him away and stepped in front of me protectively. Are you even a man? Do you have no shame? Where were you when she was in surgery? When she was writhing in pain? Now you show up with some cheap flowers pretending to be loving. Don't you know she has stitches and can't be pulled like that? You don't care if she lives or dies. You're nothing but a selfish bastard. Shut up. Joel exploded, anger twisting his face. Who the hell are you to meddle in our business? You're always feeding her nonsense, trying to drive us apart. Every time Laura gets mad or talks about breaking up, it's because of you. I know your type. You can't stand to see us happy. Me? I'm the one who can't stand it. Misty trembled with rage. Joel, if I really had bad intentions, I would have told her to dump you years ago. Ask yourself, do you even deserve the 10 years of youth she gave you? Misty, I grabbed her hand, tears spilling uncontrollably. In that moment, I just felt so tired. I looked at Joel's face, twisted with anger. With all the strength I had left, I slapped him hard. Joel, you're sick. Who the hell do you think you are? Yelling at my friend like that. Get out. He froze, staring at me in disbelief. After a few seconds of silence, he let out a cold laugh. Fine, Laura. Don't regret this. Don't forget I used my connections to get you that job and the apartment you live in. It's mine. Without me, where could you possibly go? Each word hit me like a blunt knife in the chest. I remembered when he had pointed at that small apartment and said, Laura, this is our first home. Someday we'll have a big flat, a villa. I remembered when I quit my old job after being mistreated, and he proudly found me another through his friend. Go there. No one will dare to bully you. Those gestures that once felt like love and protection now sounded like pity. So this was how he had always seen me, a parasitic vine that couldn't live without him. I forced a smile. I don't regret it. Let's go, Laura, Misty said, supporting me toward the car. Staying near that man another second makes me sick. I leaned back against the seat, drained. My heart felt hollow, but lighter than ever. In the rearview mirror, Joel stood motionless, face dark as ash. The red roses in his hands were crushed and misshapen. From that moment on, I never looked back at him again. Chapter 5. Misty took me to her place. Not long after we arrived, I received a message from Joel. Fine, we can break up. But within 3 days, clear out everything you left in the apartment. Misty nearly exploded with rage. That bastard. How dare he? Come on. I'm going with you. I want to see what crap he dares to pull. Without hesitation, she grabbed her keys and stormed out with me. Joel wasn't home. Only his impeccably made-up secretary was there. She stood in the living room with her arms crossed, eyes filled with disdain. Mr. Joel is busy, she said curtly. He instructed me to keep an eye on things. She deliberately emphasized those 2 words, her tone dripping with arrogance. Laura, everything you take must be inspected and logged by me. After all, there are plenty of expensive items here. If something goes missing, it'll be hard to explain. Misty exploded instantly. Who the hell do you think you are, talking to Laura like that? The secretary smirked, her red lips curling in mockery. Who am I? Ha! Let's just say, Laura, that from now on you're nothing. No one's going to coax you back this time. Oh, and a friendly reminder, she added with a sneer. Joel's being pursued by a young, beautiful heiress lately. A perfect match, equal status, strong alliance. So yes, it's better you clear your things quickly. Wouldn't want to offend the new mistress of the house. Misty laughed coldly. New mistress? What a joke. Joel's trash. He's only worthy of a woman like you licking up his leftovers. And you think you have the right to bark orders at us? Get out of the way. She shoved the secretary hard. The woman stumbled and fell flat onto the floor. You're so vulgar and ignorant, the secretary sputtered. Misty cracked her knuckles with a grin. I'm a 4th-degree black belt in kickboxing. Say one more word and I'll knock the fake right off your face. Then she turned protectively toward me. Laura, go get your stuff. When we left, she noticed I was only carrying a small bag with documents. What about the rest? I shook my head. I don't want it. Anything related to Joel, I don't even want to look at it again. She slung her arm around my shoulders. Out with the old, in with the new. Come on, let's go shopping. I bought piles of new clothes, bright colors, flattering cuts. Not to please anyone else this time, but simply because I liked them. Afterward, we went for steaming hot pot, spicy enough to make our eyes water and our noses run. We laughed and cried between bites. For the first time, I realized, it feels amazing to please yourself. Chapter 6. The next morning, as soon as I arrived at the office, my manager suddenly informed me that the project I had been leading had been reassigned. You've been unwell lately, and your emotions have been unstable, he said, clearing his throat. It's a good time for you to rest and take it easy. That project was my blood and sweat, countless sleepless nights, every detail from planning to execution handled by me. And now it was being handed over to someone else. Sir, I said calmly, I've been in charge of this project from the beginning. I know every stage inside and out. Changing leaders now poses a huge risk. Besides, I've fully recovered and can handle it. He nodded, then sighed with a patronizing smile. Laura, a wise person knows when to adapt. You and Joel, things haven't been too pleasant, have they? Take my advice. Women should know when to give in. Say sorry, lower your head a little. Once a man cools off, everything will be fine. Why ruin your career and your relationship over something so trivial? It doesn't matter who runs the project as long as it gets done. Don't be ungrateful. I understood then. So that was it. Of course, Joel had said it himself. The job was one he got me. The apartment was his. He believed I couldn't survive without him. No need to think twice. I resign, I said. Laura, what's the harm in apologizing to Joel? You're too stubborn. Women should be gentle, that's how they stay likable. I removed my work badge and slammed it onto the desk. How a woman should be is not for trash like you to define. Chapter 7. Life after quitting wasn't easy. I passed interviews with several companies, but every time they reached the background check stage, I was rejected. I knew why. Joel must have instructed my former boss to sabotage me. Just when I was running out of options, a headhunter contacted me unexpectedly. Hello Laura. L Group is urgently hiring a project manager. I learned that you were deeply involved in the development of their previous partner project. Your experience fits perfectly. This is a rare opportunity. L Group was one of the top companies in the industry. Its name alone carried weight. Still, they were notoriously strict with recruitment, so I didn't get my hopes up. But the interview went surprisingly well. Every technical question was a breeze. They seemed impressed by my past experience. They offered me double my previous salary. The final interview was with Victor. He didn't waste time. Your former company said you resigned for personal reasons. The replacement manager they assigned was completely unqualified. Compared to your original proposal, the new plan was a disaster. L Group has already terminated their contract. He paused, looking at me steadily. I reviewed your initial proposal. It was clear, innovative, and strategic. Handing this project to you is the best choice. Moving from a subcontractor to a client-side position, for me, it was a massive leap forward. But I hesitated. Victor, I might not pass the background check. He didn't even flinch. I hire based on skill and compatibility, not personal grudges. You'll have a 3-month probation. Perform well, you stay. Fail, you leave. Can you handle it? No hesitation. No pretense. I took a deep breath, met his eyes, and said, Victor, I can handle this role. Double the pay. The prestige of L Group. The platform and influence of the project. It was a lifeline thrown into the darkest moment of my life. Chapter 8. After starting the new job, I worked like I was wound up by a key. Victor's standards were high, almost ruthless, and I was constantly busy, barely touching the ground all day. It was exhausting, yes, but for the first time in years, I felt fulfilled. The satisfaction of being valued for my work gradually replaced the melancholy of heartbreak. Not long after our breakup, Joel posted a photo on social media, him holding hands with a girl. The caption read, "Only by letting go of the wrong one can we meet the right one." I remembered what his secretary had said, a young, beautiful heiress. Surprisingly, I didn't feel hurt. In fact, I felt relieved. Thank God I'd escaped. If I had wasted a few more years with him, the sunk cost would have been even greater. At an important industry banquet, I attended as Victor's project manager. Amid the glasses clinking and polite laughter, I unexpectedly ran into Joel. He had a heavily made-up girl on his arm, dressed head to toe in luxury brands. When she saw me, she instantly clung to him tighter, her voice dripping with mockery. "Oh my, isn't this Laura?" Her tone was sweet but sharp, loud enough for nearby guests to hear. "You know, I should actually thank you for helping me train such a wonderful boyfriend." The chatter in the room quieted slightly, a few glances flicking in our direction. I smiled faintly, unbothered. "Well," I said, "people are shaped by the company they keep. But as the saying goes, when an orange tree grows south of the Huai River, it bears sweet fruit. North of it, the fruit turns bitter. What Joel becomes under your care? Well, that depends on your ability." Her face stiffened. Joel stepped forward, his tone cold and patronizing. "Laura, stop being so stubborn. What's the point? I heard you've had trouble finding a job. I could introduce you to a few companies." I cut him off sharply. "No need, Joel. Thanks to your kindness, I'm already employed, at a much better platform." He blinked, incredulous. "What company would even take you? Must be some small firm, right?" Before I could respond, Victor appeared beside me. Joel immediately put on his fake business smile, extending his hand. "Mr. Victor, such a pleasure to finally meet you. I've heard great things. I understand your company is bidding on a new project. My firm recently completed the smart transportation upgrade in South City. We have plenty of experience. I hope you'll consider us." Victor didn't take his hand. Instead, his calm gaze fell on me. "All bidding decisions are handled entirely by our project manager, Laura. Her opinion is my opinion." Joel froze. I smiled politely. "Apologies, Joel. Unfortunately, your company's scale, credentials, and previous cases don't meet our entry standards. You're not eligible to bid." He stiffened, voice rising. "Laura, you're with L Group." The woman beside him sneered. "Who knows how she got there? Some people, even at her age, still know how to climb the right ladder." I chuckled softly. Better to climb high than to stay crawling in the trash. "You." Her expression twisted with rage. "I've seen your kind before, ordinary background, willing to do anything to move up. Victor, you'd better be careful, don't let a woman like her." "Enough." Victor's voice was firm, his eyes like ice. "An outstanding independent woman earns her place with skill and effort. Only the narrow-minded measure others by their own filth." He looked between the two of them. "Please mind your manners. This event doesn't welcome people with such dirty thoughts." Their faces turned pale, but neither dared to argue. I thought that would be the end of it, but during a short break, Joel cornered me on the terrace. He reeked of alcohol, his voice sharp and slurred. "Laura, you better tell me the truth. Have you been sleeping with Victor all along? No wonder you acted so tough, dumping me like that. You'd already found your next man, hadn't you?" Pain shot through my wrist as he grabbed it hard, his words laced with venom. Disgusted, I slapped him across the face. "Joel, you're disgusting. You think everyone's as filthy as you? Victor and I are clean. But you stole my project, forced me to quit, all under your orders, didn't you?" I stepped back, glaring. I don't owe you anything anymore. And you'll never control me again. He laughed coldly, bitter and cruel. Control you, Laura? Don't fool yourself. Why would Victor help you so much? Why give you that position? You really think he likes you? Look at your background, look at his. What could you possibly offer him? He's just using you for your face, for a bit of fun. Get out. I met his bloodshot eyes, my voice like steel. Joel, you make me sick. Chapter 9. The night air was cool as I leaned against the cold wall. At last, I couldn't hold back my tears. So this was what it came to, from love to disgust, from passion to exhaustion, just like that. In that moment, it struck me that the years I devoted to that relationship seemed utterly worthless. A soft rustle. A dark gray handkerchief appeared before my eyes. I looked up. Victor was standing in front of me, though I hadn't noticed when he arrived. Victor, thank you. I took the handkerchief, my voice hoarse. You're always thanking me. His deep gaze met mine. You've helped me a lot, I murmured, lowering my head to hide the disarray in my expression. It's a boss's duty to protect his employees. He paused, his tone dropping slightly, calm, steady, yet firm. But letting someone unworthy upset you, that's just a waste of emotion. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Still, thank you for standing up for me earlier. About what they said, please don't take it to heart. He raised an eyebrow, tilting his head slightly. What? You mean the rumors about us? My words caught in my throat and my cheeks flushed for reasons I couldn't quite explain. Maybe it was my imagination, but I sometimes felt there was something softer in the way he treated me, a quiet kindness, measured and restrained. I wasn't foolish enough to mistake it for affection. But I also knew how quickly such kindness could turn into gossip in a workplace. The last thing I wanted was to cause trouble for him, or for myself. After a few seconds of thought, I spoke carefully. I don't want my presence to complicate things for you. I'm not considering relationships right now. I just want to focus on my work. My past taught me that standing on my own 2 feet matters more than anything. He fell silent for a few seconds. His eyes darkened briefly, then returned to calm. A faint teasing smile tugged at his lips. What? So after a breakup you plan to stay single for 3 years? His unexpected humor made me laugh softly. It's not about staying single, I said seriously. It's just that my world used to be too small. It revolved entirely around one person. Now I want to see a bigger world, to see how far I can go on my own. He nodded slowly, a trace of admiration glinting in his eyes. Good. Chapter 10. From then on, I threw myself completely into work. Overtime, sleepless nights, back-to-back meetings, it was endless. But every time a proposal was approved, every time a challenge was conquered, a deep sense of satisfaction followed. However, Joel didn't stop. Ever since that night at the banquet, my phone had been bombarded with his calls and messages. Laura, I packed all your things for you. Nothing's missing. That day I was just angry. Come pick them up, okay? I'm not seeing anyone else. I just wanted to make you jealous. The only person I love is you. I saw the news about your project. You're amazing, but this job's too tiring. Come back. I'll take care of you. The company's profits have doubled recently. Just relax and be my wife. I'll earn the money. You just enjoy life. That Victor guy, you don't know him. He's the only son of the richest family in town. Do you think a man like that would truly love you? There are countless socialites chasing him. He's just toying with you because you're a bit capable. Laura, you're too naive. I just don't want you to get hurt. Listening to his twisted logic and arrogance, I felt nothing but absurd disgust. So I blocked him, every number, every account. Peace lasted less than a week. One evening after work, my mother suddenly called. Laura, come home for dinner tonight. I made all your favorite dishes. You must come, okay? Thinking it had been too long since I last visited my parents, I hurried home. As soon as I opened the door, laughter and chatter greeted me. But in the living room, besides my parents, sat Joel and his parents. 4 smiling faces turned toward me at once, their cheerfulness almost eerie. "Oh, Laura's home. Come sit." Joel's mother pulled me to the sofa with exaggerated warmth. His father smiled broadly. "I heard this brat made you angry. Don't worry, I've already scolded him. If you're still mad, I'll give him another beating." My mother quickly placed food into my bowl, her eyes signaling me to cooperate. Couples fight, it's normal. Look, Joel and his parents came here themselves. Isn't that sincerity? My father chimed in with a chuckle. Exactly. What married couple doesn't fight sometimes? Joel told us everything. He's ambitious, that's not a bad thing. He knows he was wrong. Laura, don't act like a spoiled child. I froze where I stood. Listening to their words, I almost laughed out loud. So they thought I was just being childish, that I was the problem. All right, Laura's not angry anymore. It's rare for both families to sit together. Let's all just be happy, HM. My mother smiled broadly, pulling at my arm. Yes, that's right. And I sat there, surrounded by laughter that felt like suffocation. Joel's mother clapped her hands together with delight. Since both families are here today, she said cheerfully, why don't we pick a wedding date? I think the 11th would be perfect. Golden autumn. Such a beautiful time. Yes, let's settle it soon. My parents echoed in agreement, their smiles overly bright. At that moment, Joel suddenly took my hand. Then, in front of everyone, he dropped to one knee, holding a huge diamond ring that sparkled under the chandelier. Laura, he said excitedly, do you like it? I had this custom made. Let's get married. His voice trembled with emotion, eyes filled with hope. It was the kind of proposal I'd once imagined countless times, in quiet midnights when love still felt real. But now it was nothing more than a carefully staged farce. I looked at this well-orchestrated moral ambush, and a bitter mix of emotions rose in my chest. Look, Laura's so moved she can't even speak, someone said. Their laughter felt deafening. Snapping out of my daze, I pulled my hand away, my voice calm but cold. Joel and I already broke up. The room fell silent. Joel quickly grasped my hand again, desperate. Laura, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. We've been together for 10 years. How can we just end it like this? My mother rushed to mediate. Come on, Laura. Joel didn't do anything unforgivable. Don't be so stubborn. Every couple has problems. You need to learn to be tolerant. Joel's parents' smiles vanished, their tone turning stern. Laura, his mother began, Joel's a man with ambition. It's not our place to say too much, but being this willful isn't right. No man will keep coaxing you forever. A woman should know when to stop. His father added with patronizing earnestness, to be honest, Joel's successful now. He could have any girl he wants. But his heart is still set on you. Shouldn't you be grateful for that? And finally, my father's voice, sharp, heavy, cutting through me like a hammer blow. Laura, can't you be more understanding? Don't embarrass your parents like this. My own parents, the ones who had once promised to protect me, were now standing with them, condemning me in unison, branding me with words like ungrateful, childish, and selfish. A hollow laugh escaped me. Understanding? Tolerance? Consideration? I looked around the room, my voice trembling with fury. Then why don't any of you ask me how I felt lying on that operating table? Awake because the anesthesia failed. How terrified I was. How much it hurt. Why didn't you ask me what it felt like when he hung up on me 10 times in a row? How hopeless I was. To you, those are small things. As long as he says sorry, as long as he pretends to care, you think everything's fine. As long as he doesn't cheat, as long as he throws me scraps of affection, I'm supposed to feel grateful, right? My pain, my fear, my dignity, none of that matters to any of you, does it? I turned to Joel, my tone icy. Do you really think you're sorry? You're not. This is just another obedience test. You think I can't live without you. You think if you kneel and apologize, I'll come running back. You just didn't expect that I'd do better without you, that my life could be brighter, that I could stand beside someone more capable than you. And that's what really scares you. You're not heartbroken, Joel. You're just angry that the woman you controlled for 10 years is finally free of you. I straightened my back, ignoring every stunned stare around me. Without looking back, I walked out of that suffocating house. Good. Let it end like this. I was no longer anyone's understanding girlfriend, no longer anyone's obedient daughter. The cold wind filled the hollow in my chest. Maybe every so-called eternal love is just a temporary illusion. When I was little, my parents lifted me high above their heads, calling me their precious girl, saying no one would ever make me cry. And when I was young, Joel once stayed up all night to care for me when I had a fever, burning the porridge in panic, his forehead covered in sweat. Perhaps forever was never real, just a beautiful lie we tell ourselves in the name of love. Chapter 11. After that day, I never had any contact with Joel again. From time to time, I heard that his company had caught the coattails of a powerful conglomerate and was expanding rapidly. And the daughter of that wealthy family, Julia, was now the woman he proudly flaunted as his new girlfriend. I felt nothing. All my focus was on work. In the marketing department, a new guy joined the team, 24, tall, bright-eyed, and effortlessly charming. He was open and honest, and he made no effort to hide his affection for me. He confessed several times. I didn't accept, but I couldn't deny. His warmth stirred something faint in me. When my best friend found out, she was so excited she slapped her thigh. A handsome, thoughtful younger guy. Laura, this is your moment. Don't think. Just go for it before someone else does. I hesitated. Yes, maybe not every man in this world was as selfish or cruel as Joel. And now I had confidence. A career. The ability to decide my own life. Maybe I really could take a step forward again. So I gave it a try. We met a few times, grabbed dinner after work. He was tall, funny, genuinely sweet. At least on the surface, it felt good to be seen again. But before anything could truly begin, he was suddenly reassigned, sent thousands of miles away to another branch. He got busy. I was busier. And that brief spark of warmth faded quietly into nothing. Chapter 12. It was a late night at the office again. As I stepped out of the elevator, a familiar voice stopped me. Laura. Joel. He looked weary, his eyes bloodshot, but when he saw me, he straightened up, his gaze heavy and conflicted. Laura, he said quietly, I'm getting married. I didn't stop walking. So what is this, Joel? A late-night visit to deliver your wedding invitation? Sorry, I don't give red envelopes to exes. He hurried forward to block my way, his tone desperate. Laura, if you just say the word, if you tell me you don't want me to, I won't marry her. I'll cancel the wedding right now. I let out a dry laugh. Joel, who you marry has nothing to do with me. Now please move. His voice cracked. Laura, are you really that heartless? 10 years, do those 10 years mean nothing to you? 10 years. I scoffed softly. They mean I was blind. Then from behind me came the sound of steady footsteps. It's late, a deep voice said. I'll take you home, Laura. Victor stepped up beside me. His calm eyes flicked toward Joel, a cold warning. Joel's face twisted in fury at the sight of him. Victor, Laura's my woman. From 18 to 28, she was with me. Her youth, her firsts, her memories, they're all mine. You think she really likes you? Impossible. He sneered, losing all restraint. The woman I fucked for 10 years, you think she's your treasure? Bang. Before the words finished, Victor grabbed Joel by the collar and punched him square across the face. 10 years of so-called love and that's how you treat her? You don't deserve her. She deserves someone far better. Joel, red-faced, swung back in rage. So that's it? You've been after my girlfriend all along, huh? You home-wrecking bastard. If it weren't for you, we'd still be together. Victor shoved him to the ground, pinning him hard. I grabbed his wrist in panic. Victor, stop, please don't. Chapter 13. I pulled Victor away quickly, leaving that mess behind. His lip was split, a thin line of blood trickling down. I stopped by a pharmacy to buy some ointment. When we got back to the car, I handed it to him. Victor, you should treat the wound. He didn't take it. Instead, he turned his head toward me, eyes dark. Laura, do you really have to be this distant with me? You can't even put some medicine on me yourself. There was a quiet anger in his tone, and something else, softer, like hurt. Under his gaze, I felt uneasy. Fine, I murmured. Unscrewing the cap, I dabbed a cotton swab in ointment and leaned in carefully toward the corner of his mouth. The car was small, our proximity too close. His breath surrounded me, warm and steady. When our eyes met, I instinctively looked away. Why can't you look at me? His voice was low, rough, magnetic. My hand trembled, the cotton swab nearly slipping. He reached up suddenly, gripping my wrist firmly, his palm burning against my skin. Laura, he said, his voice deep, I know you understand how I feel. He locked eyes with me, leaving me nowhere to hide. You told me before you weren't ready for another relationship. I respected that. I gave you time. I was willing to wait. He paused, and his voice grew heavier. But what then? His tone carried frustration, even jealousy. That young guy, what was that about? So with him, you don't need time? He gets to cut in line. I froze, caught off guard, awkward and at a loss for words. During all this time working together, Victor's kindness had long surpassed the boundaries of a normal boss. When the project hit a bottleneck, he quietly offered crucial insight. When we worked late, he always insisted on driving me home. Even my small offhand remarks, he remembered them all. Little things, silent gestures like gentle rain seeping into my heart. Even someone as slow as me could see what it meant. But between us, the distance felt far too great. His family was one of the most powerful in the country. 2 sons. The elder went into politics, a man of high rank and great influence, married to the heiress of another wealthy family, a perfect match. And Victor, a man like him born into that kind of dynasty, could his marriage ever be something decided by the heart alone? I lowered my eyes and said softly, Victor, we're not suitable. Not suitable. His grip on my wrist tightened. Not suitable for me, but suitable for that kid? Tell me, in what way am I worse than him? He took a step closer, his presence pressing in. I had nowhere left to retreat. He's younger than you, I muttered. Victor froze for a moment, then suddenly let out a laugh, half angry, half amused. Yes, he's younger than me by a few years. So what? He's immature, impulsive, I just had him transferred, and the so-called relationship ended before it even began. See, that kind of boy can't be relied on. He leaned closer, eyes burning with teasing confidence. But me, I may be a few years older, but I train regularly, my body's young, my stamina, endurance. He paused deliberately, a playful smirk tugging at his lips. Certainly no worse than those boys. Wait, what was he saying? My face went crimson. That's not what I meant. You're excellent in every way, a great choice for a partner. I just meant that there's too much difference between us. He fixed his gaze on me and suddenly smiled. Laura, what did you just say? I said we're too different. No, the sentence before that. That you're a great choice for a partner. Good, he said, still smiling. Then let's be together. What? No. That's not what I meant. That's the part one wanted to hear. His eyes glowed with intensity, a warmth that made my heart skip. Laura, you're such a coward, he said softly. You say you live for yourself now, but when you finally feel something, you don't even dare to admit it. What are you afraid of? That my family's name is too high? That people will gossip? That I won't be faithful? His voice grew gentler, almost a vow. Laura, I won't let you lose. Yes, he was right. I was a coward. I kept saying I wanted independence, a new life, but when faced with genuine affection, I instinctively backed away. Yet, almost 30 years old now, if I didn't dare chase even one heartbeat, how would I ever live without regret? What was there to be afraid of? What was there that I couldn't afford to lose? Chapter 14. After we started dating, Victor became a completely different man. The once calm, composed, and distant Victor, the one everyone called cold and untouchable, was gone. In his place appeared a clingy, childish, and utterly shameless man. "Manager, come to my office for a moment." His voice over the intercom was formal, professional, and serious. But the moment I stepped in and closed the door, he pulled me straight into his arms. "Hey, sweetheart," he murmured, grinning. "I missed you. Kiss me." I blushed, pushing lightly against his chest. "Victor, stop it. We're in the office, someone might see." He only smiled, eyes glinting with mischief. "Then you'll make it up to me tonight." He leaned close, his tone teasing. Fine, just let go already. If someone walks in, it'll be a disaster." That night, once we were home, he was even worse. "Baby, am I amazing? Tell me, is my body better than those younger guys? Stronger? More? Victor, shut up." I covered his mouth in embarrassment, my face on fire. How could this man, once the picture of restraint and dignity, turn into such a flirt after falling in love? Because we worked in the same company, we kept our relationship secret, at least for a while. That was until a newly hired overseas returnee joined the department. Smart, capable, but unfortunately blind enough to fall for me. He brought flowers and confessed publicly in front of everyone. By that afternoon, Victor had promoted him to a branch office on the other side of the planet, claiming the overseas market desperately needed his talent. Later, he cornered me in the office, face dark. "Laura, if this keeps up, I'm going to have a heart attack. You have to make it official with me." And so, the next day, half coaxed, half tricked, I found myself standing beside him at the marriage registry. When we finally got our little red book, our faces smiling side by side in the photo, he exhaled deeply, satisfaction lighting up his features. "Let's see who dares try stealing you now." Chapter 15. After the wedding, I attended a social gathering for the first time as Mrs. Victor. Among the elegantly dressed guests, I unexpectedly saw Julia, Joel's new wife. But in this glittering circle of high society, Julia was subtly excluded. She tried her best to blend in but was quietly ignored at every turn. A few wealthy ladies leaned toward me and whispered, "Madam, you're new here, so you might not know, Miss Julia is an illegitimate daughter." In our circle, everyone comes from proper families, legitimate wives and noble daughters. Not every stray cat or dog can squeeze their way in. They giggled behind their champagne glasses. Look around the city. What respectable family would marry her? She had no choice but to settle for that small-time businessman who lives off his wife's family. Only then did I realize, Joel's so-called wealthy heiress wife was, in fact, an illegitimate child. Still, it was said that after marrying into Julia's family, Joel's business flourished. His company had just completed a round of financing and was preparing to go public. But fate always has its way of settling accounts. A month later, Julia's grandfather, the head of the family, passed away suddenly. He died so abruptly that he left no will. The inheritance had to be distributed according to the law. And Julia, being illegitimate, received nothing. Legally, she wasn't even recognized as a daughter. Though the law grants equal inheritance rights to illegitimate children, with the old man cremated and gone, she had no way to prove her lineage. The scandal spread through the elite circle like wildfire, turning into everyone's favorite topic over tea and gossip. When the eldest legitimate daughter took over as the new head of the family, Joel's company instantly lost its powerful backer. Worse still, in his blind ambition to prepare for the IPO, Joel had overextended his business, mortgaged his assets, and taken out massive loans. Now the funding chain had collapsed. The loans went unpaid. Overnight, the company declared bankruptcy, and Joel himself was under investigation for embezzlement and illegal financial manipulation. Seeing his haggard, defeated face splashed across the financial news, I felt nothing but calm. In the end, life always balances the scales. Karma never forgets. Chapter 16. A few days later, Joel's parents appeared downstairs at L Group's headquarters. Ignoring the security guards, they dropped to their knees in front of me, sobbing. Laura, please help Joel. We know you married well. Your husband's powerful and kind. Please, for the sake of the 10 years you spent together, lend him some money, help him through this. We're begging you. He can't go to jail. I looked at them quietly. There was no satisfaction, no sense of revenge, only a faint sadness. His problems have nothing to do with me. Please leave. When Victor heard about the incident, he came down immediately. Without a word, he stepped in front of me, shielding me completely. His expression was icy as he said to the guards, escort them out. And from now on, don't let them get within 100 meters of this building. Then he turned to me gently, supporting my arm. Don't mind them. Let's go home. You're pregnant. Anger isn't good for you or the baby. I couldn't help but laugh softly. It's only been a month, Victor. The baby's still just a little bean. Don't exaggerate. Since learning about the pregnancy, Victor had taken care of me with meticulous tenderness. We both loved quiet, simple days. After work, he would take me to the supermarket, carefully choosing fresh ingredients. Back home, he'd put on an apron and cook in the kitchen. He said it helped him relax, and that watching me finish every bite gave him a sense of fulfillment no business success could match. He remembered all my little habits, never forgot an anniversary, and always made time to accompany me to prenatal checkups. Afterward, we'd eat together, take evening walks, and play with the stray dog we'd adopted. Life was calm and ordinary, yet filled with small, precious moments of happiness.